this is not the video I thought I would be making today. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura of Penroseknits and I am doing a knit and chat today. I don't know if have I ever actually done an actual knit and chat. I've done like FAQ, those kind of chatty videos, but I don't think I've ever just like sat down and had a little chat whilst I was knitting. But that's what we're doing today. It wasn't planned and I'll obviously tell you why I'm doing a knit and chat today. But before I get started, I just want to apologise if you can hear my builders. My mic is good, like it's okay, it's a good mic, but you know, you might not be able to hear it at all, maybe if you're wearing earphones, but we are having a little bit of external work done to our house and today is digger day, so I'm sorry if you can hear it, but there's not much I can do about it, and I kind of wanted to get this video done as soon as possible, just because I'm anxious about it. The reason I'm making this video today, God, this sounds so dramatic, it's not even that big a deal. I decided to do a knit and chat today for a few reasons. I've got some like big updates to give you, some kind of like information about what's going on with me at the moment. And I also thought I'd do like a little mental health update, a little kind of plan going forward, and kind of talk a little bit about knitting as well. I'm going to be working on something that has not been seen by anyone yet. I've not even like shown a picture of it to a friend other than maybe the swatch, but I'm working on something really, really, really special. The yarn has been sent to me to design with, so you know, ad, promo, whatever. I don't even think I've shown this yarn, but I have the absolute pleasure of working with John Arbon. For me, as a designer, new designer, it's one of those like things, it was like major goals. John Arbon is a yarn producer that I've loved for a long time. It was when I first started knitting, my in-laws lived literally next door to the John Arbon shop in Devon. I don't think the shop is open anymore since lockdown. They didn't reopen, I don't think, I might be wrong, but I remember going in there and just being like, wow, this yarn. And I made Penny a cardigan with, I think they're knit by numbers, and I've made a few projects since, and it's just a really significant yarn company for me. So when they messaged me, they're actually asking if I wanted to try a sample of one of their new yarns. I was like, oh yes please, that would be lovely. Oh, and by the way, like here's a swatch that I've been working on in your apple door yarn in case you wanted to see it. And they were like, oh my god, wow, it's amazing. We'll sponsor you if you like, we'll send you the yarn that you need for this design. And it was like, honestly, it was such a huge moment for me. And I've had this yarn since last year. When they sent it to me, I was like, I'll be honest with you, I'm full up for the next couple of months. This will be something I'll work on next year. They were like, that's absolutely fine, just keep us up to date. And then a month or two ago, I got a message from John Arbon saying, would I like to go to their mill open weekend, which is so exciting because I was gonna go anyway. I was gonna do, well, I really wanted to go, and I like looked at the dates and the times and the tickets and everything. But probably would have been one of those things where I'd be like, oh no, it just wouldn't happen because I, you know, struggle to do nice things for myself. More on that later. So when they messaged me saying, we'd like to invite you down and you can do the mill tour and you can go to one of our talks, it was just like, yay. So I said, yes, please, it's booked in, it's official, it's happening. I'm going to the John Arbon weekend, so I thought I cannot not be representing. I made a ranunculus a long time ago. I think I showed it in the first ever episode of the Knitting People podcast. From their, oh, what is it? Which one is it? My mother-in-law got it for me. Devonia. It was in this beautiful green Devonia and I felted it. Gutted. So I would have worn that if I still had it, but I don't. So I was like, I need to represent. So I was like, this is it. This is time to get started on this design. The mill tour isn't until the middle of June, so I've got more than enough time to work on it. And so that's what I'm working on today. When I work on a design, I don't do it in like the regular order. I'll do like a bit of this, bit of that. I haven't even completed the back piece of this. It's a drop shoulder. Honestly, this year, so many drop shoulders. It's just my year of drop shoulders. But what I had in mind for this was only ever really going to work as a drop shoulder. I could have done it as a raglan, but like, I'm still recovering from the eclair. I'm not going there again for a while, so I thought, let's just, you know, who cares if I've done a million drop shoulders already this year. I'm gonna do another one, and I'm glad I did because it looks great. So it's a drop shoulder, and you would normally do all of the back piece and then all of the front piece, join the yarn, go down. I've only done a bit of the back piece, all of the front piece, and now I'm doing the neck, which is just 1 by 1 rib. So that should be perfect for doing whilst I'm chatting, because I can do it without thinking about it. So she'll show you exclusive. Oh my gosh, it looks so good on camera. Hello. Holding it up to the camera does not do it justice whatsoever. So I'll definitely be doing some B-roll cutaways, but as I mentioned, the yarn is called Apple Door, and this is the colourway Quench, and it is it's just the most elite, stunning, subtle pastel rainbow ever. And the thing that makes John Arbon yarn so special is that they dye the fibres and then blend the fibres together to get the colourway. So in here you've got blue, pink and yellow, and it's blended in a way that they don't merge to make one solid colour. It makes like it looks like hand dyed yarn, but it isn't hand dyed. It's like, well, it is hand dyed, the fibre is, but it's hard to explain. John Arbon has a brilliant YouTube channel with loads of like videos about how they make the yarn and stuff, and there's a really good one about their Yarnadelic. They did a live, and within that they explain fully how they make the yarn basically, and how they blend the fibres. And so sometimes they might take a number of different colours and blend them together to make one colour, which has really subtle variation in it. This is a lot more, you can see the different colours, and I love it because I love working with colour, but when it comes to wearing colour, I'm not the bravest and I'm not the most comfortable in colour. I'm getting better. I've let red into my life, but this for me is just a wonderful way to work with colour but not feel overwhelmed by it, because overall, like from a distance you still get like a neutral vibe, but when you get close up you just see. Also, this lighting, the setting I've got my camera on, is making this look very peachy beigey, whereas in real life it's so different. Trust, the cutaways will show you. But anyway, yes, this is what I'm working on. I've had this idea for so long. I've had this kind of lattice cable smocked vibe swatched up for a long time, and I'm finally glad it's happening, and I can't quite believe it's worked. I've kind of done a preliminary grade just to check that it would work, and I had to go back and forth a few times, but we're there, we're making it work. It's going to work, and I'm so excited. I currently can't decide on the type of neckline that I want. It's either going to be a, what's it called, a mock neck, so like not like a full turtleneck folded over, but like a higher neck, or I'm going to fold it into a double folded neckband, and I'm struggling to decide right now. The other thing is this with this yarn is that it absolutely transforms. It's quite similar to how like Shetland wool, when you work with it, it feels quite thin and you're a bit like, oh gosh, what is this in the fabric? You know, it doesn't, even in stockinette, it doesn't look that great when you're working with it. It's a bit wobbly and a bit sparse, and I was like a bit panicky when I first started using it, but when you block it, my lord, it transforms like a butterfly into the most beautiful, squishy, poofy loveliness. It blooms. It's the epitome of a blooming yarn. It starts off all like thin and a little bit like and then the fibres just like puff up and fill in all those gaps, and they bloom like you would imagine, like the bud of a flower opening up and blooming and filling up the space around it. That's what this yarn does, and it's stunning. I've talked about this for a lot longer than I thought I would. So yeah, let's crack on. I've probably got about 5 or 6 rows of 1 by 1 rib left before I kind of need to check if I am where I if I am where I want to be, and now the sun is coming out. I've also been finally hit with the hay fever, so forgive the sound of my voice if it's annoying for you. I'll see you next time. So the main reason I'm making this video today is that I need to talk about Instagram and what's happening with me and my Instagram at the moment. So unfortunately, on Monday morning, I decided to delete my Instagram app and re-download it because it wasn't working properly. My stories weren't loading properly. I couldn't see anybody else's stories, and you know, I'm impatient, so I was like, well, I'll just download it and delete and reload and it will be fine. So I did that, and I logged back into I've got like a personal account that's like private, and it's just like people that I know. I don't really even post on it that often, just occasional pictures of the kids, and that's just got like a single password, and I got into that absolutely fine. And then when I went to try and get into my Laurapenroseknits account, which has a 2-step verification, which Instagram told me to do for my own security, it's not working. My password's fine, but the moment I go in to get the code from my authentication app, which in my case is Apple Passwords, which is what I set it up with, a code should like automatically appear from Apple Passwords, and it's not. It just doesn't appear. Nothing happens, and I can't put in a code. So, you know, I click the what to do if you haven't got a code. Oh, use one of your backup codes that we gave you. Oh, okay, I saved them. I was good. I screenshot them. I've got them. Let's put in a backup code. Not working. Try the next backup. Like, none of the 6 backup codes they sent me worked. Okay, so I could talk about this for a long time, but basically I tried every single possible way of getting back into my account that Instagram provide me, and none of them work. I've done this stupid thing where you have to do a video of your face. I've done it with my face. I've done it with Penny's face, because there are more pictures of Penny on my Instagram than there are of me, and like that doesn't work. They won't accept that, and like it's been so frustrating because it just sends you in circles. Every time I get to a point where I think I'm getting somewhere, the help center just sends me back to their FAQ page. I've watched every video on YouTube, I've read every Reddit thread, like everything I try just sends me back to this can't log into your account page, which isn't helpful at all. So I'm currently at a point where I'm assuming it's an Instagram problem, because when I'm in my normal account and I go to try and enter the like security and password section in the account center, I can't get into that. It just said this page is down, we're fixing it, try reloading the page, and it's been like that since Monday, and it's now Wednesday. So yeah, I spent a lot of time crying on Monday. I cried a lot. I cried because I was, oh my god, I can't even talk about myself crying without like crying a little bit. I was obviously worried that I've lost my Instagram account, something that I know there are bigger problems in the world right now. I'm fully aware of that, but this is a big deal to me. My Instagram is the basis of my business. It's like something I worked really hard on. It's been years to build my Instagram, and it's not, you know, it's not even that huge. Like, I've got 20 something followers, but you know, my reach was hitting, you know, on average 100k reach like pretty regularly for quite a long time now, and you know, that's my base, that's my marketing. It's how and where I sell my patterns. And so to the thought of no longer being able to access that and having to start again was obviously really distressing for me. Mix that in with the frustration of not being able to do anything about it, just realised I'm really low in the frame. Like, not even being able to send a message to Instagram. Like, there's no email, and I get why there's no like just general email you can send to, because they'd get, you know, millions of emails a day, but there's not even a form that I can fill in. Like, a lot of the YouTube videos and advice I've seen is, you know, click the don't have access to my phone or email anymore, and it will take you to a form where you can fill out your details and you can send Instagram a picture of your ID, they'll verify you and let you back in, kind of thing. I can't, that doesn't exist. I can't even get to that point. I put my name of my account in and it just reroutes me back to the help centre, and it is beyond frustrating. I was also very angry because I'm like, Instagram, you told me to set up this two-step verification and now it's not working. And yeah, I've had a lot of feelings in the past few days. Oh my gosh. So yeah, if anybody out there was wondering why I've suddenly gone silent on Instagram, it's because of that. If anyone is waiting for a response from message from me, I'm sorry, I can't get into my messages. If anybody has got an urgent question for me, my email address is down below. You can always contact me through my website. You should always contact me through my website or my email, especially if it's to do with the pattern, because even when I have access to my Instagram account, I don't check my message requests constantly. It's just too much. I will go through it occasionally. So if you've ever got I'm sat here knit and chat and I'm just chatting. If you've ever got a burning question for me, just message me through that. So that's what's happened with my Instagram, and it's been a pretty rubbish few days because of it. So it does kind of lead me into the other part of this video, which is a little bit of a kind of like a mental health update. Funnily enough, I have been considering taking an Instagram break, ironically. I think I've known deep down for a while that Instagram has not necessarily been serving my mental health progress. Now, you know, in my Instagram environment itself is great. I don't receive any trolling, I don't receive any bad comments. I receive, you know, message after message from lovely people affirming me and, you know, sharing their stories and their life with me and connecting with me, and it's brilliant on that level. However, the bigger my Instagram has got, and, you know, honestly, people with accounts have got 50, 80, 100k. I don't know how they do it. Well, I guess they just turn off the messages. The bigger that it's got, the more demanding it's become, and the bigger the sense of duty I have to be available on Instagram has become. And my internal sense of duty is a big subject for me, and it's something I've been going hard into in therapy recently, this sense of duty that I put upon myself. And it just kind of got to the point where if I would, you know, get a message on Instagram, I would just feel anxious about it. I know I mentioned this in my last video, which was a weekend vlog, but this was in relation to test knitting. But I just think in general, Instagram has just become a place where I feel like I have to serve. And it's obviously, there's an element of that when it's your business, you know, this is my choice, I decided to do this. But this kind of weird sense of duty that I put on myself is just, it's not making me happy, basically. The other element of it has been the comparisons on Instagram and how it's sneaky. You don't know it's happening, but quite often I would be on Instagram and I'd just be scrolling through, and those feelings of, oh, they're doing this, I'm not doing that, they've got this many followers, why haven't I grown, you know, their designs are better than mine, their photos of it, that just kind of background comparison. And even I don't even think those thoughts were that conscious, but subtly in the back of my head it was happening. And you can't control it, because you might go into your Instagram just to look at what your mates are up to or whatever, which is lovely, but then Instagram shows you this picture or something, and it's just, it's so hard to describe, but I think I just knew deep down that I needed to take a break from Instagram. However, actually putting that break into action was just not happening. I was coming up with so many reasons and excuses. I'll do it after this test knit. I've got, oh God, the light, sorry. I've got the sibling sweater my size test coming up, and I'll just do that test knit first because I can't do a test knit without Instagram. I'll do that first and then I'll take a break. I'll wait till summer, I'll wait till it's a bit quieter, you know. Oh, but then if I do take a break, I'll lose all my reach, and then my next pattern won't sell, and like so many reasons and excuses not to take this break from Instagram. Honestly, Instagram had me by the balls and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So I feel like even though it's not what I wanted and it has caused me a lot of stress and worry, and I'm still stuck in this limbo of, am I going to get my Instagram account back or not? What should I do? Should I just keep waiting, or should I just start a new Instagram? Like that, even that in itself, I've then got to go through and update every video description and every pattern with my new Instagram, and people are going to, I can't remove the old account. People are going to go and follow that thinking they're following me, but it's not actually me anymore. And like, it's just this whole world that I can't. So even though it's not what I wanted, I am now a few days in to the break from Instagram, and I'm trying to embrace it. I'm trying to make the most of not feeling like I have to respond to every single message and every single comment, and you know, make sure that I'm posting all the time. I'm just trying to enjoy that break. On that note, I do have one thing that I probably should have put at the beginning, but I haven't. Just before Instagram kicked me out, I had done a little yarn de-stash in my stories, and one of the yarns was a We Are Knitters yarn that I'd been sent for PR that I wasn't comfortable accepting money for. So I said, if you want this yarn, make a donation to your charity of choice, send me the proof and I'll send you the yarn, basically. And that happened, and a lovely person said, yes, I'll do that. Here's the charity donation, here's my address. I can't access those messages, so if you are that lovely person, or you know the person who donated to charity in exchange for some yarn from me, please get in contact with me. Send me an email, go on my website, and yeah, let me know your address, because I can't send you this yarn, and I can't let you know that I can't send you this yarn, and I feel really awful about it because this person's going to think I've like scammed them or something. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to find that person, or someone will be able to help me. I think if that doesn't happen after I've put this video live, I might enlist my kind of Instagram posse of friends and get them to do some stories to see if we can find this person so I can send them the yarn. So yeah, I'm trying to take it as a sign that this Instagram break needed to happen, and I thought I would kind of share my thoughts on my first kind of few days of Instagram sobriety. There's been a few times where it's reminded me of how I felt when I quit smoking. I know that might sound a little bit extreme, but honestly, it's so similar. I quit smoking when I found out I was pregnant with my son. So in the scheme of everyone's experiences of quitting smoking, I had easy, because I went from, being addicted to smoking to the next day finding the thought of putting a cigarette in my mouth absolutely repulsive, because I was like, oh, I've got this baby in my tummy, I wouldn't ever dream of doing that. So I had it quite easy when it came to quitting smoking, but I very much still had the habit. I didn't get the cravings, I didn't have like that physical withdrawal or anything, but I still had the habit. And the first few days of quitting smoking, I'd go out somewhere and I'd put my hand in my bag, or I'd be sat somewhere, if I'd be in a pub, big garden with my friends, and I'd be like, this just felt this weird there's this weird hole in my life where I used to do this thing habitually, and now I can't do it, and I feel a bit about it. I don't want to do it, but it used to be here, and now what do I do? And it's been this similar thing with Instagram. The first few days I'd be like checking and I pick my phone up and I'd be like, oh yeah, no, okay, and I'd even open my phone and I'd just be like, what do I had this just weird kind of thing where I just felt this big hole in my life, and it really kind of opened my eyes to just how much time I spend on Instagram, and not even just like actually like talking to people, because, you know, don't get me wrong, I get a lot of good stuff from Instagram, so much community. For someone who struggles to make friends in real life, Instagram has opened this whole world of, you know, personal connections with people that I struggle to get in real life, and it's amazing for me. But that's probably, you know, if I'm completely honest with myself, that's probably a very small percentage of the time I spend on Instagram. The rest of the time is just the mindless scrolling. I pick up my phone, and the number of times I'm like, I realise I'm sat there watching stories and I'm like, oh, hang on a minute, what was I meant to do? Like, what did I open my phone for? Like, I was going to Google something or check something, or, you know, send a message to a real life person. And I find myself just on Instagram. So it's been really, really eye-opening just how kind of dependent I was on it. I have also noticed that I have suddenly become a lot more interested in my knitting projects because I've kind of like being locked out of my Instagram has given me permission to not do something I felt like I had to do, which was the sibling sweater my size test knit. I like it, you know, it's ready to go. I've probably got one more edit to do on it, but my sample's been made, like the pattern's pretty much ready to go, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I couldn't face doing this big garment test knit, and but I felt like I had to, and I just had this duty to do it because people want the pattern and they're waiting for the pattern, so I need to do it, otherwise I'm letting people down. And even though all those people would say, no, we can wait, it's fine, don't worry, nobody else is putting that pressure on me, it all comes from myself and this weird sense of duty that I have. And so by losing my access to my Instagram, I kind of got permission to not do that test knit, because, I mean, yes, I could technically run the test knit without Instagram. I've got a pool of testers that I could draw from, and I might still do that if like my Instagram is lost, if I can't ever get back in again. That's probably what I'll do, but I no longer have to do that, and my mind has just been opened up. I don't think I would have been able to cast on this project, and I'm enjoying it so much because obviously I'm grading it as I go and I will write it up, and the plan with this is to release it at some point, but not having the pressure of like sharing it. I know the moment that I share a new design on Instagram, that's when the sense of duty starts. That's when okay, well, I've shared it now, you know, people have commented saying they really like it and they're excited for the pattern, so I need to get the pattern out now, otherwise I'm letting those people down. I don't have that with this project because it's just completely on my terms. It's so weird as well with my blanket, with my gorgeous, amazing triangle blanket that I've been absolutely adoring working on. It's getting quite big now. Like, look at this. I think I've got one square to put in until I'm at a 5x5 square. I think I'm gonna aim for like 7x7 or 8x8. I'm not too sure. But this blanket of joy, I love it so much. But even that project for me was a break from designing. I was like, I just need to not make a garment. I don't want to design. I don't want to think about it. I just want to have fun. And even that became this thing where I was like, well, you know, I'm getting all these comments and messages from people saying, oh yeah, I really like the triangle blanket. I'd love to have a pattern one day. Like, no pressure. Like, it's so lovely. I'd love to know how you did it. Can you let us know how you did it? Like, even that was because this sense of duty was just coming in. I was like, people want this pattern, I should probably write it up. Like, I should go through, like, I should, you know, sit down with my computer and start writing it up, making notes, taking pictures, or should I do this, should I do that? And it's like, not even, like, even my own, like, leisure project became something that was a duty, like, to create a pattern for it. And this is tricky because I don't want to sound ungrateful, and I don't want people to feel like, you know, they can't say they like my projects or whatever, or let me know that they're excited about future designs, but at the same time it just creates this pressure for me, and this pressure is from me. I understand this, it's an internal thing. This duty and pressure comes from me. I know I'm not actually letting anybody down if I don't create a pattern for every idea I've ever had. Oh my god, like the little sparks, even to this day I still get messages from people saying, when is Little Sparks coming out? I've, you know, people who are like new to my podcast and go back to watching old videos and see it, they're like, oh, I've just watched this old video of yours, what happened with this pattern? I can't even reply to these messages. I can't say to them, no, I don't want to do it. I know people like this pattern and I might do it one day, but I don't want to do it right now. And it's like, oh, this knit and chat is basically like a big offload. I might not even upload this, who knows? So yeah, that's where I'm at. And I think it's just time that I finally like fully put myself first, and this kind of mental health recovery journey that I'm going on. Like I can't do it anymore. I can't put, you know, my Instagram reach ahead of myself. I can't put pattern sales ahead of myself. Like I have to fully put myself first now. And Instagram locking me out of my account is gonna be a blessing in disguise, whether I like it or not. And I think like the final thought on the whole situation, I think, and that I kind of realised today, was that like ultimately what was stopping me taking that Instagram break that I knew I wanted, and I think the thing that was really stopping me would be, by going on that Instagram break, it's me admitting to myself and to the world that I'm not coping, that I'm not okay, that I can't handle it anymore. And that's a really difficult thing to do. It's so hard to say, no, I can't do this anymore, and I don't want to do this anymore. It's really hard. So I guess I should say thank you to Instagram for kind of like taking that responsibility off my shoulders, but it needed to happen anyway. I don't know if or when I'm gonna get access to my Instagram account again, but even if, you know, even if it's today, even if I can manage to get back in again today or tomorrow, I think it's probably a really good idea that I take a break. I think I'll feel better if I'm able to put in my bio taking a break, so that people know I'm not ignoring them. That would definitely bring my anxiety levels down a little bit. And I'm hoping by sharing this video, enough word will get out. Like I imagine, like I have less subscribers on YouTube than I do on Instagram, but I'm guessing the people that are following me in both spaces are like my hardcore people that enjoy my content and want to continue supporting me and you know, actually care about where I am and what I'm doing. Anything else, you know, whatever. So hopefully this message will reach the people who actually, you know, care. And they will understand where I've been. So that's where I am. You probably won't be seeing anything from me on Instagram for a while, regardless of whether I get back into that account or not. I am gonna continue here on YouTube because, funnily enough, I don't get that same sense of duty from YouTube. I've been like sporadic with my posting like for a long time, and I don't get that sense of like guilt or failure when I don't upload a video for a little while. I just purely do it as and when I want to, and I'm fine with that. So I don't find YouTube triggering in that way, and I can kind of share on my terms. Ultimately I can turn the comments off if I want to. I probably won't, because I also don't feel that same sense of duty to respond to every comment, and I think that's because my videos get so many comments that I can't physically sit there and reply to every single one, but I will go through and read them and give them a little heart when I've read them, so you know that I've read them. just like this little acknowledgement, so I don't find it triggering. I do reply to comments when I feel like I've got something to say, or someone said something that's, you know, particularly like lovely or whatever, or like makes a connection, but overall I don't feel the same sense of duty with YouTube as I do with Instagram. So maybe you'll see me around on YouTube a little bit more than you would have done if I was like still on Instagram, but yeah, we'll see. Penrose Knits wise, you cannot expect a pattern from me anytime soon. There will be no test calls anytime soon. Saying that, what sometimes happens is the moment I give myself permission to not do something, I then find the motivation to do it. So, you know, maybe there will, there might not. There certainly won't be any public test knits. I know I said that I would do a public test call for the sibling sweater my size. I knew I said I'd do a public test call for the Midland cardigan. This hasn't been abandoned, it's still in the works somewhere. I just don't know when it's going to be released or anything like that. So yeah, I don't know what's going to be happening with Penrose Knits over the next few months, and that's lovely. It's lovely to be like, yeah, no, don't know what's happening, and yeah. In the end, I started this little kind of design business venture because I have complete control over it. I struggle to work in a normal working environment for a number of different reasons, because of my autism, because of my personality, just because of my mental health, and working for myself was a way of having control over that. But that means I've actually got to go through with it. When I want to stop, when I need to take a break, I actually need to take that break. So that's where we are. Thank you for joining me for this very kind of rambly, nasal, digger in the background video. If you made it to the end, thank you and well done. I really hope you're all doing well at the moment. If you're not doing well at the moment, you're not alone. I'm here with you. Do what you need to do to get through what you're going through. You know, you don't owe anyone anything. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Says me sat here making this big YouTube announcement. But yeah, just do what you got to do and be kind to yourself. Don't listen to that inner critical voice. Therapy is amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna round it off there because I'm becoming increasingly like icky sounding. So thank you for joining me. I'll hopefully see you soon. Yeah,